By now you've probably heard the term branding. It is really popular in the voiceover community, and that's because people take their voiceover business seriously. But what does it even mean, and how does that relate to your career? I want to share some VO-specific branding tips that we've learned over the years.
And hopefully,
Especially if you've never thought about this will help you get started. Number one, marketing and branding. What's the difference? Well, marketing is what you do, your voiceover, genre specific. Branding, however, is who you are. Who am I? No. Don't get stuck philosophizing. At the beginning of our careers, we focused way too much on branding ourselves as opposed to communicating what we did. We go way more into this in our business branding and marketing course, which I'll link in the description. We talk about how to market yourself, how to create your own branding, plus how to put them all together. And there's no other course like it. You'll get way more out of the course than that, but this video is all about helping you for free. Moving on to branding tip number 2, your branding should focus on both who you are and highlight the aspects of your voice that clients are looking for. The journey to find this out can be the hardest part, but even though that's the case, you may be shocked to hear this, but your authentic voice actually shows people who you are. Heidi and I both did a workshop called the Sam Christensen Workshop over a decade ago. It's a workshop that's designed to give a vocabulary to your unique essence. Like as soon as you walk into a room, nobody knows you. What's the vibe that they get from you? What opinions have they formed already simply by taking a 1-second look? But it's a workshop that helps you understand which authentic and believable parts that you bring to an on-camera role. Now, there's way more to it than that. 4 days worth. But it's not only for on-camera work. Business owners, CEOs, anybody in leadership positions have taken this workshop just to see how they come across to people. And what you learn, it helps you adjust. It also helps you lean into what you naturally bring to the table in any circumstance, live or on screen. And we found that it actually works for voiceover as well. If this sounds interesting to you, Matt and Brooke Cornwell of Get Taped put on the Sam Christensen Workshop still. They even offer free previews if you're like, that sounds interesting. I'll link it in the description in case you want to check it out and level up your game. Now, the cool thing that we found about the Sam Christensen Workshop is that so many people would say, wow, it's like you've known me for years. And that's off just the first exercise, which is based off impressions by simply watching a person for a minute in silence. Oh, it's such a good workshop. So for Heidi and I, we've ended up finding out that your voice's impression can be the same way, which is why in our beginner voiceover intensive, we include a week in there where you get essence statements or descriptive words from your instructor, as well as those in the class from what they hear in your voice. So many students have come out of that beginner voiceover intensive class going, wow, it's amazing that you can get all that just from my voice. Now, if you're watching this, most likely you haven't taken the Sam Christensen Workshop or the beginner voiceover intensive that focuses on the voiceover aspect. So how do you figure it out if you don't have access to those two things right now? I have the answer. Ask your voiceover coach or your instructor. Ask fellow voiceover talent that you may know. Do you have agents? Ask them. And don't just do a carte blanche. Say, can you give me 3 descriptive terms that come to mind when you think of my voice? And if you know that they're really a creative type of person, say, would you write down a descriptive statement about my voice?
you never know what comes out of that.
Now, once you have that data, you gotta filter it. Filter it through what clients are actually looking for. So let me give you an example. Recently, Heidi revamped her branding. The tagline for her used to be, I speak from my heart, which is who she is. And the second part of it was, and I believe your words deserve that, which is the value to the client. Now, the new branding is like talking with an old friend. And how did she come to that realization? She actually talked to her agent and managers and also clients who have said that about her voice. And the cool thing is, she got the same description when she did the Sam Christensen Workshop years ago for the on-camera side. Isn't that crazy? Like talking with an old friend. It's a simpler phrase that describes her and what clients are looking for.
Number 3,
Branding value for agents and clients may be different. In a powwow with her agent and managers, Heidi said they cautioned her about pigeonholing with her branding. Now, we totally get that. They're coming from the agent and manager perspective, which is to offer their clients the most options and the best range. They don't want their clients to think, oh, Heidi can only do the upbeat and peppy reads, as an example. But we found with the saturation within the voiceover industry, meaning tons of talent, it's imperative to make sure that clients know what they get when they come to you, and that they can easily remember that. In a book called and yes, I will link it in the description. The author, Jason Pfeiffer, tells the story of a research study. Basically, a group sold upscale jelly outside a grocery store. The first day, they ended up bringing 20 plus varieties. All great, and lots of people came to the table, in droves actually. The next day, they only put a few jellies out, say less than half. On that day, people didn't come in droves. However, people bought more on that day than they did before with less options. Their research concluded something maybe that you have found in your own life. It's harder to make decisions when we have more options versus fewer, which I guess speaks to the grocery store Aldi's success. So we don't want our clients to have to go through a Rolodex of our ranges to figure out what would fit their needs. The name of the game is making it easy, or otherwise known as removing the friction. And going back to Heidi's branding, she created a great branding line that doesn't pigeonhole her into a specific read, but speaks actually to the connection that she can bring. If you can figure out branding like that, that's a winner. Here's a fourth thing that we've learned over the years. Utilize audition breakdowns. That can help you determine what value you bring to clients.
What in the world does it mean by that?
Well, think about your voice. Do you have any idea what value it brings to clients? Here's what you do. If you're getting auditions, notice the breakdowns that you're receiving. Notice the patterns in the breakdowns. What are they asking for? Is it consistent over the course of a few weeks? That's how Heidi realized, like talking to an old friend would totally work for her. And the cool thing is, we've never actually seen anybody use that for their branding before.
Which is nice.
And important. But the way that started to register with her is that she was noticing a lot of people were asking for that in breakdowns. Number 5, and this is an important one, stay away from mimicking other talents' brandings or typical phrasing. You don't want to steal somebody else's. Be creative. There's enough to go around. And I get it. This can be hard because friendly, upbeat may be who you actually are and is a value that your voice brings to the client. But instead, and I'm going to suggest something old school here, utilize a thesaurus. Thesaurus? Thesiraptorus. Think about story and archetypes. You can also think up descriptive phrases. Sam Christensen would call those essence statements. And those descriptive phrases can say something similar while still being unique to you. And this is just one of the reasons why that Sam Christensen workshop or our beginner voiceover intensive can be valuable to you. That's my favorite week in the beginner voiceover intensive because you could just see the light bulbs go off. So for this example, instead of using friendly upbeat, maybe a great descriptive phrase or essence statement for your voice would be your best hype guy or girl. Think about it. Get creative. You never know what might come up that's totally unique to you that nobody else has. We've actually talked about doing a workshop on the business and branding side of VO, modeled after the course, or one-on-one sessions to help with this. It can be so hard to figure out by yourself. We get it. Hope these tips have helped. Our goal is to help provide resources that are going to help you, and our mission to equip, elevate, and inspire you in your voiceover journey. Please like and subscribe and send on to somebody else if you think they could use this help. Thanks for watching.